Glorious Korean lovers, 안녕하세요. As I mentioned, this is the first episode of Korean history, the story of 단군신검. This is a little bit side, but maybe you could take a look. Let me just move over here. It says the first episode, the myth of Dangun. Can you guess what year the Korea actually was made? It was started. According to our history, Korea is 300, sorry, 4,324 years old. So year 2001 is 단기 4,324 years. So now we probably guessed it. This is 2021 AD, Anno Domino, after the Christ. So if you add up 2021 to 2,333, which is 4,324 years, right? Well, as I was doing the research, I went to the bookstore and then found this book. Okay. Well, the reason I bought a storybook for children is whenever you find like a history, of course, if you go deep into some histories and then like you want to study, it's going to like if you good idea for you to actually search like an adult book. But when you look at the children's book, it's easy. It tells you, it has all the information, and then it made it easy for you. So it gives you all the information you need to get to the information you need. Korean history. When you think of Korean history, a lot of foreigners, even some Koreans, think that Korean history started with Joseon, which is 500 years of kings. But no, it actually started with 단군신화. And maybe before that, our country had Stone Ages with other parts, and then people lived in Korea for a long time before even we established what's called Korea. 대한민국, not even 대한민국. This actually is a story of Joseon. Also, it's called 고조선, old history, old Joseon, because when 이성계, the first king, established Korea, Joseon, with the dynasty, he also called it Joseon. So to define or differentiate the Dangun era before the Joseon, we call it 고조선, which is old Korea. Okay. For if you take a look at the maybe the world history before AD, BC, before the Christ, in 2,600 around years, Chinese, how to say, Chinese has Chinese history has started, and then also in 2,500 the Indus 문명, which is the sorry, just drink some water, calm down. Civilization, yes, has started. Chinese civilization in 2600 BC, and then 2500 Indus, and maybe around there Korean history started 2,333 years. So, in this book, I would improvise after maybe this, I could put some pictures in there, but in this book, there's a picture of Dangun with bear and a tiger. Okay, you see? This is a fun story. And also, if you take a look at this story was first, the myth of Dangun was inside this book called 삼국 유사, which means the story of three countries, 신라, 고구려, 백제. So, that's how we know, about the myth. Now, should we start the story? I myself believe in God. So for me, before the Christ or after the Christ, Anno Domini, actually means something. It's important to me. But in the myth, Korea had a god called Hwan In. Okay, and then Hwan In had a son named Hwan-ung. Un actually means bear. Hwan-ung actually wanted to go down to the world, go down to land, and then rule the country, rule the land. So his father allowed him to go down to what's in the Korea, the Taebaek Mountain, and along with it, he actually sent him what's called like a stamp called 천부인. 천 means the sky, the heaven. 천부인 actually is something that proved that Hwan-ung was a son of God. So with 300 people, Hwan-ung came down to Taebaek Mountain, and as I mentioned in my introduction, 신단수. It's like a little tree that he came down to, and along with him, he brought air, wind, and then rain, clouds, and he ruled the country. He ruled the land at the time. So he also with that he had control of the agriculture, like rice is very important for Korean people. So agriculture, and then people's sin, and also diseases. Among them, maybe 300 things that he controlled the land. He brought to the land. And then, with 300 people, he was ruling the land, and all of a sudden, these two women came and wanted to be a human being. Guess who that is? So one was a tiger, and one was a bear. Yes. So Hwan-ung actually thought about it. Who could be my wife? To be my wife, to be a queen, endurance means a lot. So what should we do to turn her into a human? So Hwan-ung gave two ladies a handful of mugwort, which is soup, and 20 cloves of garlic, and told them, if you stay 100 days in a cave without seeing the sunlight and eat only the mugwort and garlic, whoever survives this, you will become my wife. So, the two ladies stayed But the tiger actually couldn't survive. She ran away. But like you said, bear stayed 21 days, 7 days a week, 3 times, 21 days, and she survived. She kept the promise. So, like the Hwanung promised her, she became a woman and married the Dangun, uh, and became his wife. And her name actually is Ungnyo. Ung in Korean means bear. Ungnyo means woman. So she married him. And that's how he ruled the land. Let me show you the picture. So after that, Dangun actually married the Ungnya and bear Dangun Wangam. Hwanung and Ungnya, the son of God Hwanung and Ungnya, originally a bear, became a woman, married, and then had a son called Dangun Wangam. And then Dangun Wangam went to Isadal, which is the first capital of South Korea, and then he asked Isadal, people of the Isadal, to help him, and he established Joseon, which is called Go-Joseon. And he ruled for 1,500 years, 1,500 years. And then after he ruled for 1,500 years, he went into the mountains and then became this god. Maybe like it's called Hanshin. And Shin means, like a god in the mountain. So we might have blood of bear. But this actually is a myth. So what people just believe, and like I said, there's also a story where even up to nowadays, every year in Sindansu, where the Hwanung came down, is said to have we have rituals every year to celebrate this. So we know that Korea is called the land of morning calm, where it's a country of a quiet and beautiful morning, right? So Joseon actually was a name. Go-Joseon was actually name of the country. Jo in Korean means fair, and then Son is new. Okay. And that's what it means. And it means land of morning calm. Asadal, the first capital or first place for Joseon, actually means Asa means morning, and Dal means land. So morning land. So probably that's it. That's why we call it land of morning calm. Morning. Always. Maybe in reality, if you think of reality, why? I mean, to tell you the truth, in reality, a bear or a tiger cannot become, a human being, a lady. I mean, that's a myth, like I said. But maybe if you think into the history, bear actually was the bear tribe, who worshipped the bear and then who lived there, and then the tiger was the tribe that worshipped the tiger. Maybe that was it. And then why did tiger run away, and why did a bear, Ungnya, became his wife? Maybe they had a little fight, a war, and then tigers lost, and then bear tribe won. So the tribe leader's daughter which was 웅녀, maybe is considered to marry Hwanung, which became the history ancestor of our country. That's a very simple story. Anyway, since this is the first story of Korea and story of Hwanung and the 웅녀 and 단군신검, 단군신검 ruled the country for 1,500 years after he became 산신, like a god in the mountain. But what's going to happen next? How are we going to continue? What would be next? You have to find out, don't you? Let me tell you this, but still it continues after that. We have another history coming up. It's a little bit like a story, light story, fun facts, but we have a long way to go. Maybe a story after that, and then maybe a few stories. But maybe next episode, which is after 4 weeks, in our history episode, we are going to talk about the story after this. Or probably if you write some comments about the things that you want to know in detail about the story or any other things, feel free to write the comments. I will be more than happy to answer your questions, and we'll continue as it goes by. Well, story of Hwanung. You know what I'm going to intend to do probably is after shooting all 4 episodes, I'm going to make a list of channels where I separate the history, I separate the Korean, learning Korean language, and then food, and like I told you, my extra like specials, introducing myself to you. So it's going to be separated. So when you follow me or follow Glorious Korea, you will have a list of the language, list of the history. So it's going to, you'll be able to see the flow of the lessons. Good idea, maybe. My start wasn't so perfect, and then I am doing my best to make this channel work. We are at a time where it's very difficult and I'm out of resources, but I will grow with you. As I always say, stay with me, bear with me, grow with me. I will try harder every time. I will make myself a pro YouTuber someday for you, and we'll see. Like I said to my students after class, I would say, any questions? Leave comments, and I'll see you next week with learning Korean. Or if you leave a comment, I might go to Korean food. It'd be interesting. I'll show you what kind of breakfast we have in the morning. Maybe I'll prepare breakfast for my parents, and then show you the typical day or typical breakfast for our family in the morning, what we do. Or maybe I'll teach you the sounds of Korea, how King Sejong has made, and the story behind how he made 훈민정음, which is the language that we are reading and writing and probably speaking today. But it started a little bit different from what we have now. King Sejong actually my ancestor. King Sejong actually developed the language according to the sound of the land, sound of the mouth, sound from the nature, things around him, like what he sees with 장영실 and 지편전. And then it is proven that Hangul is one of the most scientific languages. And I've seen a lot of foreigners, it was really easy for them to learn Korean, read and write Korean, because it's so easy. It's very scientific. So, I will have maybe sometime this week. Like I cannot really tell you when, but I will have a live chat. If you're going to join me, I need some time to learn how to edit. I need some time to learn how to upload videos the right way, and then things like that. So I need some time. People tell me like, how do you have a YouTube channel on your own? But my challenge, like I said, nothing's impossible for me. When you have will to do things, you may not start off big, but you will, as long as you try and as long as you continue doing it, you will establish something. You are going to get better as time goes by. That's what I believe. And then we are going to actually survive the corona. Right? So have a good night. Until next time, my glorious Korea lovers. I do it all the time. This is but anyway, like I said, again, 구독, 좋아요, 공유. So subscribe, like, and please share. And I hope to join you next week, and maybe sometime this week with the live again with more interesting, history or anything. You have it. My channel. Think of it this way: spontaneous. Okay, raw, wild, whatever you call it, but it's going to go somewhere, I hope. Okay, so until then, good night. See you next week. Bye bye. Do we have to say goodbye? Good night.